Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, hearing the word in truth and sincerity. Alright, so I got an article right here dealing with how slavery became America's first big business. And pretty much we understand the way America was built was off the blood, sweat, and tears of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the Hebrew Israelites, man. All right. And when I read this article, you're going to see that what's mostly being said is of the tribe of Judah, because the tribe of Judah is the head tribe. So what happened to them was more publicized, but that doesn't mean that, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans didn't catch hell either. All right. Because we as a nation, all right, we're under the curses written in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, starting from the 15th verse. But like I said, just because, what happened to the so-called natives and Latinos isn't as publicized as the so-called Negroes, don't mean that they're not Israelites either. But nevertheless, man, I'm going to go ahead and read the article. To pretty much show, man, that, we are the Israelites, and this is why America is going to be destroyed the way it's going to be destroyed, man. It says, historian and author Edward E. Baptist explains how slavery helped the U.S. go from a colonial economy to the second biggest industrial power in the world. Of the many myths told about American slavery, one of the biggest is that it was an archaic practice that only enriched a small number of men. So pretty much it was only a small practice. They got, a couple of people rich, the riches that the elite got, that was built off the blood, sweat, and tears of Jake, man. Okay? The argument has often been used to diminish the scale of slavery, reducing it to a crime committed by a few southern planters, one that did not touch the rest of the United States. Slavery, the argument goes, was an inefficient system, and the labor of the enslaved was considered less productive than that of a free worker being paid a wage. So pretty much, what the slaves was doing was less productive than somebody that would be doing work to get paid. All right. The use of enslaved labor has been presented as a pre-modern, a practice that had no ties to the capitalism that allowed America to become and remain a leading global economy. So pretty much, the devil was saying that what happened in slavery did not contribute to it has no ties to how America became so great. All right. But according to scriptures, we understand that, America is what it is because of the blood, sweat, and tears of the Israelites, man. It says, but as with many stories about slavery, this is untrue. Slavery, particularly the cotton slavery that existed from the end of the 18th century to the beginning of the Civil War, was a thoroughly modern business, one that was continuously changing to maximize profits. So they were constantly, changing things so that they can get richer. All right. And you understand, the more richer they got, the more slaves that they had, man. To grow to grow the cotton that will clothe the world and fuel global industrialization, thousands of young enslaved men and women, the children of stolen ancestors illegally treated as property, were transported from Maryland and Virginia, hundreds of miles south, and forcibly retained to become America's most efficient laborers. All right, now keep that in mind. This is Jeremiah 50:6. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten the resting place. All that found them have devoured them. All right. And who devoured us? The so-called white man, along with the other nations. But primarily Esau, he put the most hell on our people, And the adversary said, we offend not. All right. Pretty much, they were justified in what they did to Jake. The hell that they did put on Jake, man. All right. Because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. So I'm going to jump down to verse 11. Because you were glad, because you rejoiced, all you destroyers of mine heritage. All right. These so-called white people, they rejoiced at what they were doing to our people. Why? Because Jake was making them rich. All right, they'd whip Jake. They beat our people to make them produce more. All right, and when Jake produced more, they were glad. They rejoiced because they were getting rich. Oh, you destroyers of mine heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. And that's, describing America and the so-called white man. All right, they've gotten rich off of the destruction, off of the labor of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Even to this very day, the reason that America is still going is because of our people, man. All right, the labor that our people are putting in. All right, nevertheless, the article continues and it says, as they were pushed into the expanding territories of Mississippi and Louisiana, sold and bid on at auctions, and resettled unto forced labor camps, they were given a task to plant and pick thousands of pounds of cottons. And you can find that in Deuteronomy, man. All right, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 68. This was foretold to happen. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt is synonymous with bondage. All right. So the Lord was going to bring the children of Israel into bondage again with ships. All right. And that happened, the transatlantic slave trade, man. All right. We were brought to America to serve, the so-called white man. All right. By way of ships, man. By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. And right there, when it says no man shall buy you, pretty much no man is going to save you, man. No man is going to redeem you out of these curses. Because obviously, like I just read, all right, I'm going to read that again. Like I just read right here. As they were pushed into the expanding territories of Mississippi and Louisiana, sold and bid on at auctions. All right, so clearly our people were sold and bid on, man. And resettled into forced labor camps. They were given a task to plant and pick thousands of pounds of cotton. All right, and Esau would mercilessly, make Jake do these things, man. And if they didn't, they'd get beaten. All right. It says, the bodies of the enslaved served as America's largest financial asset, and they were forced to maintain America's most exported commodity. In 60 years, from 1801 to 1862, the amount of cotton picked daily by an enslaved person increased 400%. You see that? So Jake was putting in work for this devil. This is Isaiah 47 and verse 6. It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance, and given them into thine hand. All right, because like Job 9:24 say, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Along with what was given to the wicked was the people of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. All right, and what did Esau do with that power? Thou didst show them no mercy. Esau showed our people no mercy, man. They put hell on Jake once more. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. Because Esau didn't have no mercy on our elderly, man. All right, the elderly of our people will work literally till they drop dead, man. All right, the young ones would be put to work also. It says, the profits from cotton propelled the U.S. into a position as one of the leading economies in the world and made the South its most prosperous region. The ownership of enslaved people increased wealth of Southern planters so much that by the dawn of the Civil War, the Mississippi River Valley had more millionaires per capita than any other region. You see that? So the riches that you see these elites, these Edomites got, all that started off of the slavery of our people, man. And you know what? As a matter of fact, let me go to it real quick in James, man. Because James talk about this. It says, go to now, you rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. This is addressing the elite, man. All right. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. All right. Esau's riches are corrupted because how was it gotten? It was gotten by ill-gotten means, man. The book of Sirach. The book of Sirach right here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. All right, and that's how the so-called white man got, his riches, man, through unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit. That's how it was done, And I'm just pointing out the unrighteous dealings that Esau have done to our people, man. You see, it says, verse 3, your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. All right, Esau's riches is polluted, man. All right, they weren't gotten righteously, They were gotten by blood, rape, robbery, and murder, man. All right, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. All right, Esau's unrighteous dealings is going to be a witness against him, man. And shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. All right, because Esau's riches is going to be translated, all right, to the Israelites, the same people that you put into hardcore bondage and pretty much whipped to death. The kingdom, your riches is going to be given to them. All right, you're going to be put into captivity. Verse 4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields. And this is addressing the Israelites, man. All right, we're the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth, which is the Lord of armies. All right, and the Lord hear the cries of the Israelites, man. All right, the Lord hear what the unrighteous dealings that the so-called white man has been doing to our people. All right, it says, because these elites, if I'm not mistaken, for every dollar that Jake make, I don't remember the exact number, but I know for sure that for every dollar that Jake make or a worker makes, Esau is getting rich off of that. In recent years, a growing field of scholarship has outlined how America, through the country's geographic growth, after the American Revolution and enslavers' desire for increased cotton production, created a complex system aimed at monetizing and maximizing the labor of the enslaved. In the cotton fields of the Deep South, this system rested on the continuous threat of violence and meticulous use of record keeping. The labor of each person was tracked daily, and those who did not meet their assigned picking goals were beaten. All right, so pretty much, as much work as Jake put in for this double, if they didn't meet the assigned, goal that Esau set for them, he beat them, man. All right, the best workers were beaten as well. See, even the best workers had to, get it. The whip and other assaults, coercing them into doing even more work in even less time. All right, let me get this real quick in Lamentations. All right, Lamentations, the second chapter. Salaki. Lamentations 2:16, it says, all thine enemies have opened their mouth against thee. They hiss and gnash their teeth. They say, we have swallowed her up. Certainly this is the day that we have looked for. We have found, we have seen it. All right, because these heathen, they've always, they've always waited for that moment to get us, man. All right, and eventually they got us because the Lord, gave us into their hand pretty much. But Esau as a nation, they put hell on us, man. It says, as overseers and plantation owners managed a forced labor system aimed at... Salaki, I already read that. I'll read it again. As overseers and plantation owners managed a forced labor aimed at maximizing efficiency, they interacted with a network of bankers and accountants and took out lines of credit and mortgages. You see? They interacted with a network of bankers and accountants. All right, so these international bankers, their riches go back to what was done to our people, man. All right, going back to James the 5th chapter, your riches are corrupted, man. All right, and took out lines of credit and mortgages, all to manage America's empire of cotton, an entire industry. America's first big business revolved around slavery. The slavery economy of the U.S. South is deeply tied financially to the North, to Britain, to the point that we can say that people who were buying financial products in these other places were in effect owning slaves. and were extracting money from the labor of enslaved people. All right, and this takes me here, man. All right, Nahum chapter 3 and verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. All right, because the shameful history, all right, the things that Esau did to our people is, all of it is coming out, man. And there's other things that we don't know about, but for the most part, a lot of dirt is coming out, on the so-called white man and how he established America, man. All right, what happened? Verse 6, and I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vow, and will set thee as a gazing stock. Everybody's looking at America's shame, man. All right, these so-called white people, they're ashamed of the history of their forefathers, man. All right, everybody's fleeing this, man. Because what's also coming out is a judgment that's getting ready to happen. So they're fleeing from this, man. Nobody wants to be an Edomite no more. When I say nobody wants to be an Edomite, because to look like an Edomite, to have the image of one of these devils, man. The blonde hair and the blue eyes. All right, that was the thing going back then, man. Now everybody's fleeing this, man. All right, his shame is being seen. All right, it says, and that's pretty much where it stops, man. Because then this guy goes into his book. It says, Baptist's book came out in 2014, the same year that essays like the Ta-Nehisi Coates, the case of reparations and protests like the Ferguson uprising, could call attention to injustices in wealth and policing that country to affect black communities, injustices that Baptiste and other academics see as being closely connected to the deprivations of slavery. All right, as America observes 400 years since the 1619 arrival of enslaved Africans to the colony of Virginia, these deprivations are seeing increased attention, and so are the ways America's economic empire, built on the backs of the enslaved, connects to the present, man. So there you have it, man. All right, the things today we see in America goes back to the slavery of our people. And this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to totally annihilate America, man. All right. There's a scripture I wanted to get. It's like, I believe it was Zechariah, the 2nd chapter. So like, bear with me. House of thief, because Esau is that thief, Oh yes, in the 5th chapter. It says, Zechariah 5 and verse 1. Then I turned and lifted up mine eyes, and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. And that's pretty much describing the chariot. All right. Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that swerves shall be cut off as on that side according to it. All right, and that's describing Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, because everything that he has, all right, was stolen. All right, his riches, all right, his substance, all that was stolen, man. All right, this whole land was stolen, all right, by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that swore falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof, and the stones thereof, and Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to annihilate America, or through his son Yahushua, because Yahushua is coming back with the host of heavens, man, all right, to turn this place into charcoal, man, to charcoal this place, So I want to get the scripture right here, man, and Lord willing, end it off right there. This is Revelation 13 and verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And the saints are the Israelites, are the same people that you put into captivity. We're waiting, all right, for the Lord to put you into captivity under us, man. All right. You put us into captivity, you're going to go into captivity. You killed us with the sword, you're going to be killed with the sword, man. All right? And there's no way out of it, man. So if you're an Edomite, All right, your future is captivity along with the other nations. But you know, we put much emphasis on Esau, even the so-called white men, because they did the most to our people, the most unrighteousness to our people, man. All right, because one thing, when you look into the scriptures, like, you know, different stories in the scriptures. All right, you know, when we were under the other heathens, you know, under captivity under the other heathens, man. All right, Esau beats them for everything, man. All right, for the hell that, you know, they put on Jake. All right, but nevertheless, you know, captivity is coming, beginning with their elites, man. All right, there's no running out of this, man. All right, that's your judgment, captivity, and then 1,000 years, you know, it's like 1,000 years of captivity, and then you out of here, man. But with that, Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem HaKadosh, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And to the next time, I say Shalom.